Welcome to our humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I am a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. This is the astrological forecast for November 8th through 14th of 2020. And we are dealing with a general forecast, meaning we are targeting about 8 billion people. So if something we're talking about doesn't seem to fit, take a look at the location of your Mars, your Moon, your Saturn, or your Neptune, as well as your ascendant. Now, all of these can be found on your natal chart. If you've already got one, great. If not, you can certainly contact me and I'll look it up for you. This said, let's get started, shall we? Oh, before we get into it, just a quick note. Please do subscribe to this video, to the channel, so you can get all the new ones coming up. Also, the video, as well as share it with your friends, or for that matter, anybody. Anyway, shall we get on with it? The first card we have is, as per usual, an overview. This applies to everybody. Okay, now the first one we have here is the Six of Pentacles. This indicates a sharing of all sorts of things, information, belongings, whatever it is that you can share with others to help them feel better, to help yourself feel better. This is the time to start pulling together, to start working with the people around you. Okay, remember the old karmic law. Do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. If you desire people to share with you or to help you, share with others or help them, or preferably both. Remember, under it all, no matter what your background, no matter what your present situation, people are pretty much the same. They desire to be treated decently. Now, your treating people decently doesn't necessarily mean they'll treat you decently, but it does stack the deck in your favor. Now, when we have Aries here, we have the Seven of Cups. Now, you'll see the Seven of Cups indicates imagination or the use of it. Look beyond the obvious. People that tell you that if you can't see it, don't believe it. Well, you don't see gravity, and we can pretty much guarantee it affects everybody in a similar fashion. There are a couple of exceptions that we have noticed. But with the Seven of Cups, it does indicate this is the time to look inside and really take a look at the way you're doing things. Are you content with the way your life is going? If not, what can you do to alter it? Because you're the only one that's going to be able to alter your life. Get guidance from other people. Okay, certainly get input from other people. But you're the one that's going to have to do the work. Now, when we take a look at Taurus here, Taurus has the Queen of Swords inverted. Now, this does tell you that, yes, you have to get your communication lines up, but this shows that using logic to get your emotions to work properly is a good idea. Okay, this shows that you may be having trouble with self-discipline. Focus on that, really rein yourself in, and think before you speak. Kind of necessary when you think of it in a lot of cases. And of course, with Taurians, remember that stubborn streak of yours is only useful if it's not causing a problem. Okay, sometimes being stubborn, hanging on to your own concepts is a good idea. Sadly, more often than not, it also becomes a cage that you yourself are building. Now, myself being a Taurian to start with, I know all about that part of it. Okay, live that one every day. Okay, now Gemini. Gemini, we have the Chariot inverted. This tells you things may be a little out of balance. Okay, you may be putting barriers up or holding yourself back, so that you're focusing too much on you, or more often than not, focusing too much on other people to your own detriment. Now, this does not mean that you should not help other people. Again, helping other people is a good thing, but the Chariot shows you're a little off balance on the weight that you've got on them. Make certain that you're treating yourself properly as well as other people. Okay, now Cancer. Cancer, we have the Justice card inverted. You may well have found that in your eyes, you've been wronged. that you have not been treated fairly. This is the time to think. This is not the time to get angry. Anger clouds the mind. Okay. And the thing with cancers is you quite often you may find you've got a really hard shell and you just let things go. But there comes a point where that shell finally cracks and then there's a problem. Okay, because people talk about other signs, like for instance Leo having a temper. Cancer has a temper that is somewhat severe. Okay, so if you're feeling like you've been treated unjustly, this is the time to voice it in a polite fashion. Think about what you're trying to say first, and if you have to write it down. Yep, if you have to do so, write it down. Okay, now Leo, we have the Page of Pentacles. This shows that you may be finding that your spending has gone a little overboard. Take a look, make certain that you haven't overextended yourself. Now again, I'm not telling you don't help people, but make certain that you're not doing so in such a way that it is creating a problem for you. Okay, it does show there's a little bit of a layout coming, of an expense coming, that you do want to brace for. Okay, and again, do not overextend yourself. Okay, times are still a little on the annoying side right now, so think first. Okay, now Virgo, yeah, we got a good card here. We have here the Six of Swords. Now the Six of Swords indicates passing over rough water. So the struggles you've been going through, this indicates that that is coming to a close. There'll be some sort of a breakthrough this week, or it has just happened, making the coming week a whole lot better. Okay, this is where you start to be able to put the past to rest, where you find it in your heart to take the things that have happened that are a little on the sour side and go, we no longer need them. Okay, and you'll find some piece of insight or some piece of information, likely gifted to you by a stranger, that just kind of clicks into place. Okay, and makes things happen. Okay, which is a good thing. Now, Libra, hey, look at that. We have the Eight of Wands. This shows you that you have that there is an elevated perception coming in. And we tripped over that really badly, so we should pick our feet up while we're walking. It does show you likely have a trip coming up. Now, you may not be taking it this week, but there are plans coming into play for a trip coming up. Okay, again, be careful that you think things through, that you pay attention to what you're planning on, and take the idea, put it on paper. Plan your goals out. The opportunity is coming in, and it's going to be up to you to decide what you do with it. Okay, but I will tell you this. It's been a long time since you've had any sort of a break. So this is the time to really look at that. See what you can do, but do not overextend yourself taking it. It also is an indication that there is a renewed relationship coming into the equation. One that you're currently in, or one that ended prematurely. Either way, you're looking at your relationship taking a turn for the better. Okay. Now, just double checking number of cards here because I laid them out a little odd. Scorpio, we have the Death card. Now, don't go reading that the wrong way. It is inverted. Okay, this does not mean the death of any individual. It likely means the death of a situation in a positive fashion or with a positive outcome. Now, it may feel a little rough to start with when the death takes place, or when the end of the situation takes place. But it won't take very long for it to settle in that this was actually a good thing it ended. You know, it's kind of like if you find out that you've got a leak, and that you've got a leak in a house you just bought. So you figure, okay, this is a problem. I'm going to have to spend a bunch of money You know, the death of my tranquility just happened, and I've got to punch a hole in the wall to repair the piping. And then you find out whoever owned the house last buried a bag of money in the wall. Okay, all of a sudden, this leak no longer is a bad thing. Sagittarius. We have the Wheel of Fortune inverted. This tells you be cautious and stay your course. Stay on the path that you're on. Okay. Be aware that things can change very quickly. Okay. But by doing this, it does open the door very nicely for you. Okay. Now, by the way, this does not mean that you necessarily have a massive windfall coming in. All it means is that there is a shift happening for you. Okay. On the plus side, it also indicates that this shift in the energy around you is not coming with a major loss either. Okay. Now, Capricorn, we have the Queen of Pentacles. Now, the Queen of Pentacles tells you that this is the time to really take a look at the money that's coming in and utilize it in a functional fashion. Take the time to think through what you're aiming at. Be careful that you don't overextend and try and get everything at the same time. Okay. Be cautious not to buy on impulse. Okay. This is the time to think things through. Okay. Now we go to Aquarius. We have the Ten of Cups. Now it's inverted, but this is okay. This is what I call the wish card. Doesn't matter if it's right side up or inverted. It basically means the dreams that you've been having, that you've been working towards, are finally coming into balance, which is a good thing. Okay. Now, Pisces, we have the Six of Cups inverted. This tells you it's time to let the past go, to put it to rest. Okay, this is the time to let old grudges fade into the dark. Okay, now this does not mean forget what you've been through. It means do not dwell on it. Focus on what you can do, things that are positive. If there are negative people around you, absolutely cut them out of the equation. Okay, this is where you get to make the choice. Now, the final card is the wrap-up here. Okay, this applies to everybody. You're at a crossroads. The Two of Swords indicates it is time to make a definitive decision as to what you're up to, where you're heading. Okay, you're at a crossroads, meaning you've got one of two paths to take. If you take one, the other one is no longer an option. So think carefully and choose wisely. And that's where we end this reading. Okay, so until we talk again, take care of yourselves and each other. And please, for pity's sakes, stay positive. Okay, and we will catch up with you. Take care.